I love neutral tones, cool tones, nude tones. I love nude eyeshadow palettes, and I could have sworn that I had already filmed this video at some point on my channel, but I have not. I couldn't find it. If you can find it, please let me know, but I tried to find the video that I could have sworn I filmed and it wasn't there. So today we're gonna do my top 10 neutral nude eyeshadow palettes. So let's get into it. Alright, let's start right away. I have a tendency to talk a lot at the start of videos, but we're not gonna do that today. First up, we have the Flower Nose Moonlight Mermaid series. Do I need glasses? 5-color jewelry eyeshadow palette in 01. This is Stellar Sand, and this is a beautiful neutral brown sand colored eyeshadow palette. I really love the mattes in here, especially the shade is beautiful. I love it. The shimmers in here are stunning. They are wet looking, they are sheeny. I think you can do a really nice neutral look with this, and it's just kind of like this all-in-one, all-you-need palette. If you want to start out with neutral tones, if you want to start out with cool tones, if you want to see if it's something for you, then this is a really nice palette. I've enjoyed it a lot, and I've done a lot of beautiful looks with it. You can go a little bit more smoky, you can go a little bit more soft. It is just stunning, and it is simple, and you don't need to use much of your brain, but can still do a beautiful look. And sometimes it's also nice to have. Then next up we have the Kaleidos Alma Viva Quad in Venus Trap, and this is also a very easy, quick, very simple look, but beautiful. Like, we have 3 neutral cool tone mattes that work beautifully. They can go a little bit more smoky or a little bit more soft. And then we have this shimmer that is truly out of this world. It is so shimmery that it kind of looks like a pressed glitter, but it isn't. It is the most pressed glitter like shimmer that I've ever seen. It is chunky, but not in a bad way. It just looks so beautiful and festive. And I think also for this time of year, like for the party season, this is perfect. I've really enjoyed this one. It is just very beautiful. It is very nice. Then a pretty new one in my collection. I believe I haven't really updated you on this, but I have really enjoyed it since I got this. This is the Side by Side Nude Palette Baby by Nabla. It is a little bit mauve leaning, but you can also go a little bit more into the neutral brown realm, like in that direction. I really like that we have kind of like a pinky side to this and also a neutral side, and then we have 3 different formulas in the shimmers that work beautifully. You can go really smoky. I don't personally use black eyeshadow, but you can do it. And yeah, I've just really enjoyed the looks that I've done with this. This is not an update, but I have. I've really enjoyed it so far, and it's just very flattering. It looks very flattering. It is a beautiful palette. I feel like it doesn't get a lot of hype. I haven't seen a lot of people using this, but it is a really nice quality, just what we are used to from a Nabla. Then this is absolutely a classic. It's been around for a little bit, and I feel like the Cooltoned girlies, they have tried it, they've used it, they have loved it. So this might not be new to you, but like, this could be your inspiration to get back into it, or I don't know. I'm just mentioning it because it is in my top 10. This is the Vetto palette by Colourpop. It is just beautiful taupe tones, a very cool tone without being too gray. I don't love things usually that are too gray, but this is just right in that perfect in-between spot where it's not a gray, but it's also not a brown. It's kind of like, it's just very cool toned, and I love it. It's very flattering. I love the shades in here. I think the shimmers in here are very sparkly, very beautiful. I've just done so many beautiful looks with this. This is one if you want to try cool tones on a budget. It's a great one. And then another classic that leans a little bit more neutral is the Going Coconuts. It's also one that has been around, and I've heard a lot of people rave about it, but I still really love it. I just love the tones in this. It's almost a little rosy, but I love kind of like the rosy cool toned side of things. The shimmer in the middle is just stunning. It is gorgeous. It is so shiny and sparkly. I love this shade Shell Yeah, and I love the shade Colada. They are just such good tones. When you're really into cool tones and you just find that one perfect shade of cool toned rosiness, of cool toned taupe, I just get really excited about that. And this one has a few shades in here that I just get back into. Like, I just remember the specific shades and how good they are. Like, this still gets me really excited because of the tones. And then one of my absolute favorite nude eyeshadow palettes in my collection that I have been talking about for years since it came out. Basically for 3 years now I've been talking about this because this was my second video on my channel ever. So this is a side-by-side nude eyeshadow palette by Nabla. This has so many beautiful options in here. You have kind of like a soft rosy row, a neutral row, a more red row, and then a very cool tone grayish row. Quality in this is amazing. You can do so many good looks. I have gone into this so many times just for a few mattes because the tones of these mattes once again are beautiful. This is just a very versatile nude palette that just challenges you a little bit, but at the same time is very easy to use. And the quality and the packaging, it just all makes sense. It's just such a good palette. It's so well thought out, it's so well thought through. I'm just a big fan. And then we have, once again, one of my favorite palettes in my collection. This is a Lunar Beauty Nude Prism color palette. First up, the packaging is absolutely stunning. I mean, I would buy it for the packaging alone, but then the inside is also beautiful. So we have a lot of tones in here. I believe these are 18 shades, and they go from very like smoky brown to more rosy tones, peachy, pinky. We have beautiful, beautiful shimmers in the middle. Like those shimmers are mirror-like, they are shiny. They are the very, very good Lunar Beauty formula that he has had for, I believe, the past 2 years or so. And it's just one of my favorite shimmer formulas. It is so good. I have just gone into this so many times. And you can go actually pretty colorful, pretty cool tone colorful, but you can also go quite peachy, can go a little berry. And I just feel like this is effortless. If I feel like I need to look good, I want to look good, I'm going to a party, I'm going somewhere where I really want to make sure that I look good, I go into this one. It is just one that I go back into over and over and over again because the beautiful tones, the beautiful options, the beautiful shimmers. This is just a very, very good. Then one that I don't know if you can get anymore, but I need to mention it because it just is the truth. I'm sorry if you can get it anymore. Maybe it will come back. I don't know. I believe this was a very popular palette. It's just a bit difficult sometimes with Glaminator Cosmetics because things do get out of stock and then disappear. It's more of a limited edition kind of brand usually. This is a nearly natural palette, and this is just my perfect neutral palette because it is neutral, but it is also kind of colorful. Like it's a little in between, and I love that kind of palette. You can go a little bit more green, you can go a little bit more mauve, but you can also go really like taupey, cool tone. I've done so many beautiful looks with this. You can really go neutral if you want. And I don't know, the shimmers in here are just stunning. The mattes in here work really well. I don't have any issues with them. It's just a beautiful palette, and if it isn't available anymore, I think if she would bring it back, then it would once again sell out because it's just such a good color story with such good formulas. And then we have the New Neutrals Remixed palette by GlossGods. I raved about this last year, and it is still a favorite of mine. It just has really nice kind of neutral nude tones, but a little unexpected. A little leaning green, a little leaning rosy. It is kind of on the verge of being a more colorful palette, but it isn't. It looks very neutral when you wear it. It looks very kind of toned down, but maybe leaning a little grungy. I love the formulas in here. We have some multi-chrome shades. We have some very shimmery shades. And I just love a hint of green like this. This is just a palette to my heart, like something that I get really excited about, something that I still think about, something that I want to get back into and that I do reach for quite some time. Like from time to time I will definitely do a neutral look with this. It is just a very interesting but still neutral palette. I really like it. Last in my top 10 we have the Full Fantasy, the Lunar Beauty and Laura Los Angeles eyeshadow palette that they came out with this year. It is also kind of like on the verge of being a more colorful palette. It can go very neutral. You have the neutral options, but you can also go a little green, a little purple. It's a little in between, and I feel like this can still count. Like this still counts for this video. It's just a more interesting neutral palette. I love the different textures in here. This has more textures than the Nude Prism palette, and that makes it sometimes that makes it a little bit more interesting. It is a very different palette though from the Nude Prism. It's a little bit more grungy. We have more like duochrome shades in here as well. Like the shade Aries is kind of like a purple brown to blue. I really enjoy this palette. It has beautiful tones. It is even better on the eyes than it looks in the pan. I really love the packaging. It is just really this interesting type of neutral palette that I really love. It is just my thing. It is what I get excited for when it comes to makeup. And then I wanted to do kind of like an honorable mention because it's a little early. Like this is the GlossGods First Gal on Jupiter 12 Pan Remixed Eyeshadow Palette. I reviewed this maybe a week ago and I did use it a couple of times after that. So I have been like digging into this. I think it's a really beautiful palette, especially the shimmers. The mattes are fine, but the shimmers are out of this world beautiful, and it is a very cool tone palette that only leans slightly green. Celestial Trek and Hidden Heroines, they have a little bit of a hint of green in there, but the rest of the palette is very truly cool toned and not too gray. Like we have a little bit of silver, but it's kind of like this neutral to cool kind of palette that I have been enjoying a lot since I got it, and I feel like I wanted to mention it. I don't know if it's still available. It might be, maybe. I think it will come back at least. But this is a really nice one as well if you're really into cool tone palettes. So far, I would really highly recommend it. I gotta do a few more looks for it to be more than an honorable mention in a video like this. But I feel like that is gonna be very soon. Like this is a favorite. On the way to becoming a favorite. Alright, this is gonna be everything for my favorite nude neutral cool tone eyeshadow palette. Let me know in the comments what your favorite eyeshadow palettes are in this category. I love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe, and then I will see you in my next one. Bye bye!